What's up, guys? It's me, Hebot. I'm back with a small and another video. Once again, more Sony anti-consumer behavior and anti-consumer practices against Xbox. The new generation has not started, my peoples, and the bull crap is already in full force. Full force. I cannot make this up. We cannot make this up. This is insane. Insane. For starters, Sony has come out and said already that they're going to have compatibility with the PlayStation 4 controller. But it would only work with PlayStation 4 games on the PS5. It will not work with any PlayStation 5 only games. As if the controller's features are so revolutionary and new that they're going to make sure they use it for all next generational games. Which you know they won't, because they never did with the PS4 and their controller. So we all know it's all BS. Okay, only very few games use the PS4 controller's touchscreen technology or even some of the sensory stuff. And in this case, so it has haptic feedback. Okay, Microsoft controller's been on for that on the triggers. Alright, that does not mean every game is going to use it. It's only going to be used when it makes sense. And if you really wanted to use the mic that's built in like they had for the Wii and on the DS, on the controller, all you have to do is use a PS4 controller with that game and add a mic to it, the old traditional way already, and you can talk to through the controller the traditional way with the mic. It's really no real reason for it not to be compatible. Only for the fact that it looks like they just want you to go out and spend extra money on their new controllers, and that's that. And I understand why they're doing it, because I told you guys many times before, economically Sony is not in a good position. That is why they've been so vague with all their messaging all this time until this point about PS5, the PS5 games, the PS5 structure, and what they're going to offer. Even their backwards compatibility is going to be very scarce. That leads me to believe that many of the PS5 backwards compatibility games for PS4 is going to be a very small amount in the list. And that's why they're saying you can only use the PS4 for only the PS5 games, or the PS4 controller for the PS4 games on PS5 rather. Because I don't think that list is going to be pretty big or big enough. I think it's going to be very small. If you have 100 games in there, you'll be lucky. There are also already articles and rumors going on and rambling saying that the PlayStation 5's longevity and life cycle is not going to be that long. The console's not even out, and they're already telling you straight up, off the hip, oh, by the way, the PS5 is not going to have a long-lasting life shelf life. So you want people to invest in your brand new console with new technology that the rumors are that it's going to be anywhere from $500 to $550 or maybe even $599 because of the price point, the technology in it. And you expect people that they're going to jump ship from PS4, especially if you have a big install base, like 100 million consumers on your PS4 console, to buy a console for a shorter amount of time when they had a problem buying PlayStation 4 Pro as a mid-gen refresh cycle console. And you really think they're going to buy into the fact that, you're not going to have a long-lasting shelf life for the PS5? Unless it's all rhetoric and it's just, talking because you guys know that the Xbox, you have been, underhand by the Xbox in the Series X. Because it's a lot more powerful and it's a lot more efficient. And you guys already know this. So you're basically trying to let people know we're going to get out quick and start off in the next generation with PS6. So that we can try to jump ahead of Microsoft. When you know Microsoft has money to outshine you guys, outperform you guys at any generation. It doesn't matter. Does not matter. Does not matter. And then the worst part about it is all you Sony fanboys, okay, not the real fans, but the fanboys that only know PlayStation, live by the book and the Bible of PlayStation, are damage controlling it. Like, it's okay. Oh, it's okay. That's the way it has always been. Now it's okay to go backwards and be like it used to be. But when it was to go forward, when Sony was doing it, oh, Microsoft is behind. They're not going forward. Like when they didn't have free games with their services that they were giving you, like the PlayStation, Live or the PlayStation Plus, when they would give you those DRM games that are glorified rentals, basically. So it's okay now to go backwards. So you want to buy your games over and over again, buy controllers over and over again, buy a new $500 or $600 console possibly, to say, oh, it's only going to last me 4 years and I'll buy a new console. But when Microsoft was talking about they're going to do a powerful console at a price point that was more expensive, you guys are, oh my God, nobody needs that. Who needs power? Who needs this? Who needs that? If that's the case, then you don't need to buy a PS5. There's no point until it's $200. With that logic, right? Until it's $200, $300, then you buy it. Because they ain't going to last you long anyway. Hardware sales are no longer important now, right? So, anyway, then we see this freaking slap in the face, anti-consumer crap and bullshit against Microsoft with Arc System Works, with Guilty Gear 5 or Guilty Gear Strive, I think it's called. I think it's part 5, part 6. Already announced for PS5. Already. That is coming out. No announcement for the Xbox Series X. None whatsoever. Really? You put Guilty Gear on the PS4 and switch this generation when you were on the 360, when 360 generation was the leading platform, and you haven't even put that game backwards compat, the 360 Guilty Gear. None of them. But yet you're doing the same bullshit already by making the announcement for PS5 and not the Xbox One? Really? Already Arc System Works. Why? Because you're a Japanese developer that are biased to Japanese products like the Switch and the PS5 coming up. You can support those, but you can't support the American console and the American fan base of the Xbox. Already, and the generation has not started. And this is why I told my Xbox brethren and brothers, we have to speak out and be more vocal and say how we feel so these companies can see what we like, what we don't like, so they can change their practices and realize that what they're doing is wrong. Absolutely wrong. The same way that the vocal minority are always talking about Xbox and things that they don't even care about and say, oh, this is not cool, and Microsoft goes and does it. Granted, Microsoft is an American company, so they listen. They're not biased. They're not retards. They're not, selfish. They do what they can to listen to the consumer to make people happy. And yet you still say Microsoft is anti-consumer. When all your controllers and peripherals go with you, you can use them on your new console. Does not matter. I remember when they said, that they didn't mention nothing about Kinect being back compat, and they made a big hoopla about that. Oh, you can't even use your Kinect. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to use the Kinect device. Maybe the games won't be back compat because it's a little bit different, coding for the engineering of the emulation, but I'm pretty sure you'll be able to use Kinect for stream like Twitch. Or actually, like Twitch. Or even on Facebook Gaming. I'm pretty sure because it's through USB. Okay? So, I remember you guys going crazy about that, but now, then talking about the actual controller when y'all don't even know how the performance of that new controller is going to be as well. Right? And how expensive it's going to be, or how it's going to perform, and nobody's saying that. Plus, it's saying that the controller is going to be 3 to 4 hours life cycle with the battery. Garbage. 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 Let's be real here. Just like Arc System Works behavior, not bringing Guilty Gear Strives or announcing it if they don't bring it to the Xbox Series X, garbage. The best performance, the best playability, the best capabilities of running it the best on that console, and you're not going to bring it over? Really? But I bet you if you put it on Game Pass and Microsoft pay you that money ahead of time, you guys will take it real quick. Because the Japanese, they know how to make sure they make their fruits and their money off the Americans. Because we're stupid and we keep supporting their dumbasses. And we're dumb. We keep supporting them and their anti-consumer practices and nationalistic ways. Because they're nationalistic. They are nationalistic. They stick to their own kind. Whether you want to believe it or not. Now, I'm not saying every Japanese developer and company is like that. But a lot of them are. And Marvel, what the fuck? What is going on with you guys? How in the world are you making the Marvel's Avengers exclusive skin of Spider-Man or the character exclusive to the PS4 when they don't own the licensing rights for Spider-Man in video games? And it's not even the Spider-Man from the PlayStation 4 game. It's the actual comic Spider-Man, which he was in, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or 4 Infinite, right? And he's also in Ultimate Alliance 3 on the Switch, which completely shows and proves that Spider-Man video game licensing does not belong to Sony. We know you gave them the exclusives to get the rights for the movie rights because Sony owns the movie rights to put them in the MCU. We all know. We're not dumb. You gave them their exclusive game. They're getting their exclusive Miles Morales now because of the movie rights as well. And you still have the fucking nerve to go and give them the skin? What in the world? Like, seriously? You know how anti-consumer that is? I bought your game and purchased it almost 8 months ago when you first announced it. Through Best Buys. It's paid off. And I'm really contemplating in canceling my order. Because what you're doing is wrong. And if we keep accepting this by helping you be anti-consumer against the Xbox community, then we're part of the problem. Helping you help them. Or give them favoritism. Where's our exclusive character? We don't get one. You know why? Because Microsoft's not going to pay for an exclusive skin to keep it away from other people because they don't own the property. They're not going to do that because that's wrong. That is wrong. Okay? But yet, here you go and you guys already did it. Or already doing it. I really hope it's an exclusive timed. And that's why you were so vague about it. Because if it's not, that is just wrong. And the only reason I won't cancel the game is because I want the game to sell well on all consoles so that they can see that you guys can see you made the wrong move and decision keeping Spider-Man, the PS4 version, only exclusive to Sony. That there's other people out there that appreciate the Spider-Man games and appreciate the Spider-Man property on other consoles as well. Okay? We know it's business at the end of the day. But Sony does not own the rights to Spider-Man in video games. So now this is principle. If they had the Spider-Man character that's the same one from PS4 in the game, that's different. Because we know that they own that, deal right with that Spider-Man character. Fine. That would be different. But the classic Spider-Man, your own interpretation of Spider-Man, and you're putting it in the game as if they own it? No, I don't think so. That is wrong. Anti-consumer at the highest extent. And no, us Xbox guys, we got to stop with but That's all right. You know, it's business at the end of the day. Let it, you know, I'm still not going to stop enjoying my game for not having Spider-Man in the game. No, that is the reason why they keep doing this crap, because we keep accepting it, being Xbox consumers and not speaking out and being vocal. Because yes, it's easy. We can go buy a PS4 and buy the PS4 version. Why should we have to buy two versions of the game because we play on both consoles just so that we can get the skin? No, bull crap. That's not owned by Sony. It's not owned by Nintendo. It's not owned by Microsoft. It belongs everywhere. And now if Sony owned it, that's different, but they don't. That is the problem. So no, we can't just be like, it's okay, don't worry. No, it's not all right. It isn't. It's not all right. It's not all right. It's wrong. But I'm really, really contemplating in canceling my purchase. Really am. And I know if this game doesn't sell well, the Sony fans win either way. Because the problem is, being on a multiple consoles, if this game doesn't sell well, it's gonna be like well, damn. All we have to do is just keep it exclusive on Sony's console because people buy it when it's exclusive to the Sony console. The Sony fans buy it because they care about the game. But it being multi-plat, nobody wants to buy it because the Xbox guys don't care about the game. But yet, you're going to tell me Sony fans care about Spider-Man, but don't care about Marvel's Avengers? When the Marvel's Avengers movie is the big deal that everybody always talking about sucking on now? No, they don't buy it because they don't want it to do well so that you keep those games exclusives on PlayStation's console. Okay? I know what they're trying to do. I'm not stupid. I've seen this before. They're trying to make sure that they keep the games that are Marvel-based or related, that are big properties, on the PlayStation console. So that way, they don't ever bring them to the competing console like Xbox, so that nobody has to be like, oh yeah, but you need an Xbox to play this and have a fighting chance in an argument. Because Sony fanboys, the extreme fanboys, the extremists, are fucking shallow. They're shallow and they're ignorant. Ignorant and shallow. If they're celebrating a DLC campaign that's about 6 or 7 hours long, okay, paying $40 when, again, Gears of War 3, Rom Shadows, okay, with Kim, was a 5.5 hour DLC that they charged you $5 through Xbox Live in the Xbox Arcade Store, okay, that you downloaded. And that was completely reasonable. And you're going to launch a brand new console that's $500 or $500 plus possibly with a DLC game, trying to act like it's a full game because they're giving you a remaster of the PS4 version of Spider-Man? Are you serious? So now we buy consoles that are new for remasters and for DLCs. We no longer buy consoles for games, but yet during the course of the middle of the generation, when you had more AAA games than Xbox, oh, PlayStation's the way to go because they have the AAA games. Are you serious? The hypocrisy, the double-edged sword, the false narrative. Stop. It's already annoying, sickening, tiring, and boring. You PlayStation fanatics are frauds. You're stupid. You're dumb. You're ignorant. You guys are not gamers. You're casual and you're frauds. Okay, you're a fanatic of a brand because because it works in your favor for your narrative, for your argument. And then you want to sit here, people in the industry, saying that console wars are stupid. They're not necessary. They're not something we need to do, that we need to be more neutral. No, because things like Spider-Man being exclusive on goddamn PS5 or PS4 with the Marvel game is what causes console wars. This is a console war topic that is being created by Marvel Games and the people at Crystal Dynamics and Square. And I know it's not Crystal Dynamics, it's Square Enix, because they're the ones who own Crystal Dynamics. And what is Square Enix? Japanese. Nationalistics. That's why they gave them Final Fantasy 7 remake for a whole year exclusive with the excuse, oh, it's nostalgia because it was first on PlayStation 1. So they didn't pay for it. At that point, you had no choice because they own 19% of your stocks. You had no choice. They had you squeezed because they saved you. And they told you, if you don't keep it exclusive, then we're not going to help you. They had you in a squeeze play. And now that you're free, even though you're free, you're still sucking on them, letting them control you as a company. You know why? Because you're Japanese, and Japanese stick together. They're nationalistic. They're very old-fashioned and are stuck in their old ways. Loyalty for Japanese people is a big deal. Unlike Americans, like Studio MDHR, do you hear me? Bringing Cuphead everywhere, even though Microsoft was the only reason you had success. Because they helped you, and they helped you make the game and saved you. They were your saving grace in the Xbox fans, and yet you wanted it everywhere else because you were greedy and you couldn't have enough money with the PC, with Netflix, with Tesla, with Xbox. No, you wanted Switch, you wanted also goddamn PlayStation. Okay, loyalty goes a long way. It's very important. Okay, so I can't respect that. And this is why I say console wars will always exist. Because if Studio MDHR is cool, hey, our friends at Xbox, our friends and family, to put Cuphead and let it be, even though they helped you on the freaking PlayStation, right? It's not like when Nier came over, or when Crash came over, or when all the Final Fantasy games, because Sony never paid for any of those games. They never owned them. They never helped none of the developers or publishers to bring those games by putting their own invested money. So it's not the same thing. Yakuza doesn't belong to Sony. And it took 19 years to come to Xbox. Doesn't belong to them. So it's not the same thing. Not the same thing. Okay? Not the same thing. Kingdom Hearts, not the same thing. Monster Hunter, not the same thing. Sony has no stake in value in that. They put no money towards those games or help the developers in any way, shape, or form. That's the difference. That's why console wars will always exist. Not because the fan base is being toxic. It's because of the behavior and the stupidity and the lack of respect towards one community of gamers on one console than the other is still exists and still there because of the developers and these companies and these publishers that do these stupid deals like this. If Sony had paid for the game completely and marketed it and put all their money in it, that is different. But they not, and they did it. It doesn't belong. This is a Square Enix game with Crystal Dynamics. And I know it's Square that's doing that. I know it's Square to keep Sony happy. Yo, Sony goes, shh, yo, give us a deal. Yo, what's up? And they do it. Why? Because they're Japanese. I'm tired of saying this. Japanese are nationalistic and stick together. Whether you guys like it or not, I don't care. You can come in the comments all you want. You guys are ignorant, okay? Or trying to play the dumb role and playing the blind eye so that you don't say nothing so people don't be like, oh, you're being toxic. No, it's not being toxic. It's being realistic and being factual and putting out the truth out there and not being afraid to speak out on it. Because we are all consumers at the end of the day. We are all consumers. And this is very anti-consumer. From Guilty Gear Strive, Spider-Man, being an exclusive skin, PlayStation's controller not working with all games on every single game on the PS5, and also the fact that the console they're already telling you is not going to be a long-lasting console. And I see people already damage controlling that already. Oh, that's the traditional old way. No, stop. That happened before because back before you couldn't make things forward compatible. You had to go straight up full-fledged to the next thing because hardware was not as compatible before. It wasn't as easy. It wasn't as PC-centric, the hardware, so you couldn't do it. Now it's different. Now you can. All right, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments below of this video. Wanted to do it really quick, let my thoughts and process out there about what I said, and let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't like it. It really doesn't matter. It's not going to bother me. And as always, like I told you guys, share it with someone you think might like it. Also, if you guys ever want to help me out in any way, shape, or form, you know how you can. You know how you could. If you have the means and things are better and you would love to see my channel grow, every little bit helps. Every little bit means the world to me. Thank you. You know how, all down in the description below. And if you're new to my channel and you subscribe, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for stopping by. I'm glad that you did. I hope you enjoyed it. And since you subscribed, remember, it means the world to me. But since you did, I consider you part of my family now. Xbox for life, like I said, it can't be cured. That's my saying. That's my slogan. People don't get triggered. It's all just gaming. It's all in good fun. Keep it gaming, guys. See you on the next one. I'm feeling a lot better, but it's still a process for those that are wondering. I'm trying, guys. I'm still doing the good fight here. See you then. Love you guys. Bye.